Let's go to the other side. Not well-coached team. Wrote down some adjectives. Embarrassing.
Well, do you want me to read their
Disgusting.
texts? Yeah, let's read those.
Oh,
Yeah, you can pull those out now.
Is this from a caller, Alex?
I'll set the stage when.
It's from Grant's wife.
Oh.
Let me set the stage when what this was. I looked back at the box score. So
5:20 p.m. Central Time, 6:20 Eastern.
again, I told you guys before. I said if this is the loss, this will be the breaking point. This will be like the point of where
it
they
sure reached that. Let me read it, Grant.
No, I just want to preface what was said before that got sent. We were down 21-7. Michigan was down 21-7. Illinois punted. Shout out to the defense for having to be on the field the entire game. Punted. Samaj Morgan standing there, probably 15 yards of room on a punt return late in the fourth. Fair catches it. Just you can't fair catch in that moment. You have nothing going. Like just sack up and try to get something for the team. And Marissa, yeah, I mean, Alex, you can take it from there.
Well, she started with, I'd almost rather have Michigan win another national championship than have to listen to Grant during their bad games. That's the first thing she said.
That's a lie. She would not want that. That's actually a lie.
I would not want
And
that.
then,
Grant, I'll listen to you during your bad games. I'll do it for you.
Correct.
quote, just said he won't watch another game. End quote. Quote, this is rock bottom. I don't care about this team after today. There will be no more Michigan football talk from now on. Grant was
We
done.
actually have to talk Michigan football.
Lied.
Correct.
We talked Michigan football on Sunday.
She sent that, and I kind of add a couple caveats. This is my mindset after that game, just for that, and then we'll get into the actual game. There will be no, besides next week, because we had already planned to host people at our house for next week, so that not next week doesn't count. But like Oregon, CBS, I'm not letting games determine anything I do on the weekends.
But you're watching.
If it's on,
yes,
and I'm not doing anything, it'll be laptop. But if there's a big 3:30 game, like for example, if Oregon, Michigan was the same time as Penn State, Ohio State, I'm watching Penn State, Ohio State instead. I do not care about this team. And then I told her the only way this changes is if Jaden Davis starts. I want to see the freshman play. I think that's fair. But I'm just making my point. That's where I'm currently at.
He's not playing.
Alex, you're missing the point.
He's not playing, Grant. He's never going to. He's transferring.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying.
He's a MAC level QB.
I'm just saying if he were to get in the game, that's the only thing that could make me actually want to watch and see what happened.
I know.
Well, I'll watch highlights for the show after. I'll watch recaps, whatever, so I can at least say something. But I really don't have any care to talk about them. They're disgusting, embarrassing. They got worse over the bye. Yeah. You guys have any questions to steer the direction? I have other notes, but we can save those as we go.
How does it feel that last week or 2 weeks ago, Alex mentioned that maybe Jack Tuttle just stinks and blah, blah, blah. I had a whole big spiel about it. You questioned me. Would you like to admit that Alex was correct and that Jack Tuttle stinks? Getting my victory laps in before we play Michigan, just in case.
You were right. He got worse. He did not get better.
Thank you. Second question.
Before you do that, though, you can see as a fan with hope for your team why you would try to convince yourself. He looked to.
But I gave you valid points.
He looked better in the Washington game than the Illinois game, so he did regress over the bye week. So that is something that I did. Yeah, I wrongly predicted he'd get better. He got worse.
Second question. If Michigan just ran the ball every single play and Alex Orji played against Illinois, do you win that football game?
Against Illinois? No, probably not. We probably still lose. Closer, though, because turnovers.
Okay.
Be closer. I think that's their best option to win. Sorry. Next question. Offensive coordinator who, what's his name? Campbell? Kirk Campbell.
Who had 1 year as an offensive coordinator in the Division I level at Old Dominion and then was fired. That is his only experience as OC. Then lashed on to J.J. McCarthy's heels. Now offensive coordinator at Michigan. Highly, highly underqualified based on those statistics. Is he fired before season's end?
Before season's
You're fired.
end.
If you're Strummer, you have to fire him just to save your ass.
Is Jay Johnson for you?
That's a good question. He is a interesting case. I would like a new one. So let me start there. I would like a new offensive coordinator.
Well, based on the resume I gave, yes, you should.
But any rational person, I think, can watch their team and watch who's behind center and realize if Ben Johnson was calling this offense, you need someone to complete the throw. We don't have. Now, look.
They beat Illinois with Ben Johnson. I feel good about that.
No, they don't. I'm sorry. They have no one that can throw a pass. He had the Colson Lovin wide open in the first half on the easiest corner route of all time, and he sailed it out of bounds. You can't. If you draw something up, like the perfect play, he either won't throw it. They also had a wheel route for a touchdown. He just was too scared to throw and took a sack.
Bubble and go up the sideline.
Yes.
Didn't throw it.
It's just I don't.
My bubble bothered and I knew it was a replay. I was like, "Oh, chuck the ball, buddy." He doesn't.
Yeah,
he
can't.
He got sacked, Alex. I don't know what to tell you.
He panicked.
I didn't see it.
It was so open. It was so.
Illinois had like 5 sacks and like 3.5 of them were just solely because Tuttle was scared to throw to an open receiver. It's hard to judge the coaching staff, which is what I'm struggling with the most because of that position is so bad.
Michigan got too cute at times during the Illinois game? Too cute.
Yeah. The reason I would take Kirk Campbell gone is because I think you're coaching for your job at this point, especially with how bad and all of the pressure. You need to play with what you have, not with what you want to be. They come out and CBS is saying, "Oh, they want to be more balanced." We can't be balanced. We can't do it.
You can't.
Ben Johnson would invent a triple option offense that worked with Alex Orji and maybe win the game. That's what a good OC would do.
I told you they would win those games with Ben Johnson.
Dan Campbell would come out what he did against Pittsburgh his first year and call 45 run times. Yes.
And guess what? The drive they scored, they just ran it 8 times with Khalil Mullins. And they ran like 5-yard pass plays to Loveland. So there's a blueprint there. They just, again, are trying to be too balanced, which is terrible. That's why I would go back to Orji because at least it forces you never to throw.
Next question.
Yeah.
Is this the worst Michigan offense you have ever seen in your life?
Well, the stat was they haven't scored this less amount of points. I didn't say that well at all.
Yeah.
This is the least amount of points they've scored since 2014 when they lost to Notre Dame 31-0 at the end of the Hoke era. So I guess I've seen worse, but Notre Dame's better than Illinois probably that year. I don't remember. That might have been the title team.
It was the title team.
Know.
No, it wasn't.
Either way, I just meant this season's offense in general.
Yeah, so they're like 115th out of 134 like every major offensive stat. Yes, they're worse. I looked it up today. Army has a better leading wide receiver than we do. It's the worst I've ever seen.
Next question.
Yeah.
So you won the national championship. You didn't. Well, Michigan won the national championship last year.
Did. Yeah. I went to the Rose Bowl. It was awesome. I'm so glad I did. I imagine if I didn't go. Oh my God.
So Michigan won the national championship last year. This year, we're all seeing what we're seeing. With the national championship in mind, is this season unacceptable, or do they get a slight pass for what happened last year?
No, this is unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Wow.
That was an unacceptable loss. That was an unacceptable loss.
Because we've talked about on this podcast many times the whole sell your soul for 10 years of suck for one national championship. Not that we're going to trend towards 10 years of suck. I don't think that's going to happen. But
at least 2 years.
It is interesting to see because obviously my team's never won a national championship.
That was funny. That was funny by Evan. Sorry. It did a little, at least 2 years. That was good.
But it is interesting to see because my teams have never won a national championship. Feel free to take a shot. It's hate week, whatever.
I don't feel in a position to talk shit right now.
Oh. And it from the outside, from watching you guys react and how the season has gone, it feels like the high of the national championship compared to this low right now has almost completely like washed it out, which I know is not true because you can still go back and watch YouTube videos. But it is crazy how far you can fall in an instant. I mean, what, like 10 months ago? 10 months ago, you're winning the national championship.
After the game, it's the same calendar year. It's still 2024. We haven't gone to 2025 yet.
And now it's like
this time last year, you're beating Michigan 49-0. Michigan State 49-0.
Complete combustible program destroyed. Everything's in flames. Probably not actually that bad, but that's how it feels. So I was just curious the unacceptableness or not, or if you get a pass. But it's like, wow, what a change. Like how fast things can flip is remarkable.
Yeah, I think I can expand, at least for me. Again, this is all new territory. None of our teams have ever won a title, so I'm still figuring it out. I would still, like, knowing how bad it is right now, still do the 10-year deal. Like, I would do that. again, I value a title that much. I think it was that awesome. But like the whole anyone you see on Twitter or whatever trying to play the card that I don't care, or any Michigan fan that talks to you like, oh, I don't care, like they want a title. That's bullshit. Like most of the fan base is really angry. Like, no, I think like they're more numb to it. Maybe
he said
like
we're natty champs. See you next year or something like that. I mean, in the chat, I don't know the exact wordage on it.
Yeah,
but like I, as a fan, I know that my personality, it wouldn't work for me. I would be very upset.
I think like some people might have that, and I envy them. But I also
here it
think
is. Sorry, I found it. Won a natty. Let's forfeit this season.
That's different than what I was talking about. That's fine. To act like you don't care is disingenuous, I think, to most fans with the Pulse. If you're like, yeah, I don't need to watch them play the rest of the year. I want to get to the offseason and see what happens. I don't need to watch us lose 70-0 to Ohio State. I know it's coming. It's going to happen. They're going to let all their demons out. They will not stop throwing or running on us. That's fine. Like, I would like to forfeit the season. Everyone got a COVID strand? Because I'm ready to go to the offseason for them. But yeah, I still would do the deal. The title, you can't let it go. I'm not watching highlights right now because I'm so angry, but I will. It'll age better. The roller coaster ride of it, yeah, it certainly hurts. You'd like to maybe ease into this drop. This is like a top throw dragster drop. We're just straight down, back to the starting blocks.
Evan on Saturday was, admittedly happy about Michigan losing.
Yeah, and credit to him. He was one of the first people to say this team's just bad. He's right.
Yeah,
whenever he told you in TBC, he was right.
He pulled some receipts, or he didn't pull receipts, but he was just like, yeah, I can't believe. I don't want to call Evan out, but basically 10-2, 11-1. We're going back to the playoff. Why can't we win the national championship again? Not everyone was saying that, but obviously there's Michigan fans out there. Big Ten is still ours. Ohio State still has to beat us, blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, Evan Cadmus is just sitting in TBC telling you, you know what, guys, your team's just not very good. And it's crazy that he was right, because Evan is one of the most biased people on the planet when it comes to Michigan State and Michigan. But yeah, I think he hit it spot on. And I think a lot of Michigan State fans had the Sherrone Moore question marks, new staff, new players, no quarterback. But I can see how you could easily get talked into thinking that the team would be very good again, because us Michigan State fans did it after the playoff appearance with Tyler O'Connor, and then we went 3-9. So
I think it helps you guys live that, so you kind of knew.
we had a feeling that it could.
Because every time I had seen my team go to the playoff, they got better the next year.
Yeah,
through the 3 years,
same quarterback.
Yep,
who happened to be a top 10 draft pick.
Yeah, I remember it was like a month before the season. I was fully in on 8-4, which is still not going to happen. I was still too generous, but at least it's closer. And then classic fandom, I got to 10-2 because I was like, you know what, whatever. Like we can go 10-2. I do maintain if they had a Diego Pavia, they have one loss right now to Texas. They are.
Yes, because Diego's a Heisman candidate. I mean, of course.
there's still like there's a framework of a good team. The coaching staff is a lot of question marks, a lot to be desired, but like the most important position in football is like it is John O'Korn levels. Even John O'Korn scored like 20 points against Ohio State, which is not happening this year with this team. So I don't know. Like yeah.
So I've seen a lot.
All right, before we get going, Derrick Henry just ran like 90 yards. Oh, he didn't score though.
Oh, why would you do that?
You're already fine.
Why would you do that?
Sorry, you've seen a lot of. He was about to score and then he got taken out.
81-yard carry. Oh my God, he didn't score.
Yeah. No.
Come on, Derek.
You've seen a lot of people say something.
I've seen that they. But yeah, listen, I'm a sicko. I don't like Michigan. I'm just going to admit that. It's just fine, and it brings me joy and whatever. It's sad, but it's fine. But that the locker room is fractured. Leaders don't want to lead. Some of the I read one of those bums articles, Alice or someone else, people that we don't really trust, but whatever. Said basically like the bus ride home or plane. I don't know if to take a bus or plane was like everyone was in zombie mode, just like staring out like what happened to us. And then like the leaders are also like just zombie mode and like There's going to be questions about who's going to start sitting out for their NFL draft reasons and yada, yada, yada. And just like full-blown locker room implosion. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on the validity of that, if you think that's true, if you think it isn't true.
I mean, I'm not going to speculate on that stuff. One, I don't trust those reporters. And two,
I don't either.
That's their personal business. But I go back again. There was thoughts of good takes from Grant, being an unbiased fan of his team. I said in the offseason, this could be one of the, again, Ohio State never fell this bad, but like that Ohio State blueprint where like you're going to have 4 or 5 like high level, potentially first round draft picks, but like the leadership that was there isn't the same. And then those are the teams where like you look back and like, wow, how do we have so many draft picks, but our record was terrible? I said that going in. And I want to make this point because everyone is so easy to point fingers at the coaches. And I agree that it has to start there. But from listening to Jim Harbaugh, the best coach in Michigan history, he said 1,000 times that last year they won a title. This team, I don't even have to coach. And he proved it. He didn't go to game day a few times because he was suspended. That team was led by Sanders Still, Mike Barrett, Blake Corum, Jenkins, Keegan, Zach Zinter. Wrote down the I'm so deep that I was looking up 2023 captains, read all the names. I was like, yes, those guys ran that team. Your captains this year, there's some good ones. So I'm not calling out all of them, and I'm not going to give them specifics, but Makari Page, Donovan Edwards, Rod Moore, not his fault. He got hurt. Rod Moore got hurt in the offseason. So yeah, you can't do much not being on the field. Max Bredesen, he's fine. Josiah Stewart, dog. But like you look at the captains, you look at body language, things they say, it's just different. You know, Makari Page got benched in Illinois for a freshman, came in. It's like the best teams in college football are player-led, or they're scared shitless of their coach like Kirby Smart, and we don't have that. So there has to be blame for the leaders of the team. And and honestly, this might be a hot take from Michigan fans. I don't care if Will Johnson sits out. If I were him, I would sit out. Why are you going to risk getting injured for your NFL career at this point? He won a title. I understand it's soft. Maybe that's not how I'd be wired. But like, honestly, are you going to go out there and try to like risk your millions of dollars for a team that doesn't have a quarterback? It's not his fault. He's had multiple pick sixes. He won us the USC game with a pick six. I'd be so mad if I was a defensive player on this team. It would piss me off. So credit to them for actually trying.
Is there any part of you that feels bad for Loveland and Will Johnson, who were offered just absolute NIL bags to go somewhere good, like Keon Sapp got offered to go to Alabama? Or is it like, oh, buddy, you should stay. You won a national championship here. You're a Michigan
I mean,
I feel yada, yada, yada.
I feel more bad for Loveland, like actually staying here and playing, because again, he's somehow managing 70 receiving yards like per game, basically, when he plays with this like quarterback situation. It's almost increasing his stock more in my mind that he's somehow getting a way to get that open and catch these jump balls that are being thrown to him. So I feel more bad for him in Khalil Mullins. Like, it's almost like the guys that are actually trying to make plays, I feel even more indebted to that they're going through this. So I do feel bad for them. Yeah, they probably should have left. It'd be more fun.
Last question. If you had to predict, what's more likely? Michigan beats Oregon or Ohio State, or Michigan doesn't win another football game this season?
The second thing you said.
Good.
And I don't think it's, I hate doing that, and it's not even close. I don't think
it's
that close of a decision.
Close.
I
have one question.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I was reading some Michigan comments on our tweet.
Are you a sicko too, Evan? Jeez.
Some Michigan fan porn.
Yes, I was. Can you identify the 2 bad teams remaining on your schedule?
Bad?
Yep.
I mean, bad's a harsh word. We did watch Northwestern just boat race Maryland in, whatchamacallit. If you were going to say bad, I guess you could say Northwestern, but I would just call them below average. Is bad worse than below average?
Yes.
Yeah, so below average. But we're also below average, and we might be bad. One side of our ball is bad, like Dookie bad. The other is like above average because the defense is being asked to do a lot. So I don't have to. If people are saying Michigan State's bad, then they're just ignorant.
We're not.
There's a Michigan comment underneath our tweet saying, you asked the question, who are the teams that Michigan beats the remaining schedule? And one of the comments that I saw first was Michigan beats the 2 bad teams remaining on the schedule.
One guy said Indiana, and he bookmarked it. And I can't wait to dunk on him as a Michigan fan when they beat us by 35. Like, he's like, Indiana, we won't lose to them. I was like, are you sure? I mean, we're going to get dragged by them.
Does that guy watch college football?
If Rourke's back, especially.
Purdue scored 50 points against Illinois.
Yeah, they have a court. Yeah.
Oh, God, Alex, you brought it up.
They have a quarterback.
You're sicko. You're such an asshole.
They have a quarterback. No, it's fair. It's crazy.
You're an asshole.
Stink though. Purdue's terrible.
Look at this stat. Michigan quarterbacks this season: 3 passing touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 3 fumbles. I mean, what is that? What? That's not even high school football. That's worse than high school football.
High school football.
That's like wherever Stallions coaches. Like, what is that?
Mumford High School, baby.
I mean, it's.
Do you go back to Davis
dark.
Warren?
No, I think you should go Orgy.
Because
he's the only one. He threw 1 pick against Minnesota, but he's the least likely to turn it over. I can't watch turnovers. I can't. I don't want to see Edwards carry the ball in the Michigan State game. I want Mullins 35 times. And if you tell me that's too much for a kid, Ashton Ginty does it like every week. I need him 30 times. That would tell me they actually have a pulse and there's some brain power. They realize that 8 weeks too late, but there's a little bit cooking in there that, oh, maybe that's our best chance to win. Also, for people that like talk about how bad it is, I see a lot of people saying Rich and Hoke, they're glossing over how bad the COVID year was. When we got blown up by Wisconsin by 40 at home on primetime, ABC, that was as low as this. So let's not just overlook Jimbo's bad COVID year. I mean, you can look at it now, but at the time, this felt as bad. Also, my official stance on the coaching, I'm not going to just sit here talking that we need sweeping coaching changes. I'm not ready to do that right now, and since we're still in the season, but I'm not going to argue with anyone that says they want Sharon Moore gone, because at the end of the day, it's his fault and them for not having a quarterback. I'm tired of the excuses. Also, I asked the question online, everyone's mind, what is going on with Jaden Davis? Alex talked to earlier. I'm not buying the rumor about that. I'm not buying the rumor about the parents. If that's true, then I don't want him to play here. That's just ridiculous.
The rumor is his dad is full-blown helicopter dad, manages him, and they do not. His parents, Evan, if you don't know, do not want him to play this year. He did not even travel to Illinois, is what I heard.
Then he's got to go. There's no place for that.
Are you really going to carry 4 quarterbacks to a team? You don't bring your entire roster on away games. Just FYI. You'd be the 4th quarterback. You're not bringing 4 quarterbacks over a different position of need.
Yeah, in the transfer portal era, we'll just get someone next year.
He's gone.
You can't. That's fine. That's good actually, because like if you don't want your son to compete for a job that's not your. JJ McCarthy was thrown into the fire in East Lansing his freshman year and fumbled, and he grew from that. I don't need to see a parent protecting their kid. This is a golden, like the Wright family is like, this is a golden opportunity for my son to show that he's worth something. Like you couldn't imagine a better situation as a freshman to be thrown into to actually like prove you that you're good. I don't think this team makes a bowl game.
5-7.
What else?
Do you guys have 4 wins?
Yeah. But if we lose,
Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan State, Indiana,
Michigan State,
beat them October 26th. Just wait and see.
Northwestern's the only game I can see them win. 3 turnovers to 0. Also, special teams is disgusting. That's a sign of a terrible team.
Heard the punt team was very bad.
He was good. That's the crazy thing. He's dropped off the average punt of 30 yards, fake punt that they got on us, blocked field goal that we had.
What'd you guys do during the bye week?
That is a great question, Evan. You think I was mean for bringing up the Purdue 50-point thing? Come on. That was
honestly, I may not blame them. I think they probably were just on the phone with Portnoy talking about getting that $3 million in cash, and they were just planning how we're going to use that. Like I think they're just or recruiting for next year. Like they may have punted, but I don't know. Maybe they got promises from Ward. It's getting to the point though. Where, again, Ward's his own guy. I don't expect him to do anything, but like you're going to make enough donors mad that they're not going to give you an off season if they lose out. Everyone has to go.
What's the tipping point? If they lose Saturday, is it over? You think?
It's going to get a lot of donor calls, I think.
I think it's probably over.
And again, like
Michigan State has a chance to end Sharon Moore's short career. That's where we're at.
Well, no, because if he plucks off an Oregon or Ohio State, that saves you, which will not happen.
Yeah, that's not happening. Especially if you're not beating Michigan State.
If they lose out, it's a no-brainer. That's embarrassing.
If they only beat Northwestern the rest of the way, I think he's gone. You have to beat us. You have to beat Northwestern. The fans make a bowl game. Probably want you to beat Indiana.
They will. Yeah, they will.
Don't see how you're going to do that.
Well, they'll want you gone. I mean, there's a really good, awesome fan on Twitter called M Victors, and he does the what is your mood? He's been doing it since 2013. After every week, he asks the fan base, like, what's your mood? And like he gets 200 something replies, and he keeps an index of it and averages them all out. There's different tiers. Like once you get down to, let me look at it because I put it in my comment. I said I was at 60. Yeah, 68. I'll try to share it with you guys. It's really good stuff. But and also like I use it because I want to know, like, am I crazy? I'm actually slightly more positive than the average, which is not saying a lot. So this is it. So it's from 100 all the way down to 40, and he has the tiers of like where your thoughts are at that time.
It's a well done graphic.
Michigan started at 93 this year. We're at 58 right now. So less than 500 team. It's messy. Changes are mandatory. Ann Arbor, Torch, and Pitchfork sold out. Personal lives are impacted. I said I'm at 60. I'm right at the yellow-orange cutoff.
What is sub 40?
What does it say? The sad trough of disillusionment. I don't care.
So we have hit rock bottom this year.
Oh, you can see right there how we've trended 93, 91, 82, 76. Little bump after USC, 79, 68, 67, 58. Torch and Pitchfork
You
time.
lost the bye week. You went down one.
You went down after the bye week. That's crazy.
And then he has the chart all the way throughout this entire stretch of Michigan fandom since 2013.
Before 2020.
2015 was also dog shit right before.
So that's the easiest way. We're basically going to be close to that. Damn, 2020 got deep then. We're not even to 2020 yet. I'm there. It's really bad. Yeah.
You're lower than 2020.
But granted, if you did this chart for us last year,
2022.
Rock bottom.
2020 is under this dude's thumb.
Yeah, I see that. Wait, so what was... Oh, that was after... I'd have to go
2021, that's after...
Oh, yeah, it shows every chart. After the Michigan State game, it got dark, down to 77.
That's not that low.
That's not that low. Preseason 60, though.
60.
Go to 2020. It was probably then. Yeah, 48.
Oh, my God.
So that graphic on the bottom's not lined up correctly.
Yeah, he needs to fix his numbers a little bit, but great graph nonetheless.
Michigan so we're the lowest since we lost MSU COVID year. So that was a 60.
That's the lowest, man.
Also our dignity.
Well,
2021.
No, it's been lower, but like that's where we're hovering around. Is that feeling?
Paul gone. Also our dignity. That is good.
I can relate to that. Indiana. I've never been more mad watching a football game than Indiana.
Clan up.
That pissed me off.
Paige shines about 3 overtimes versus Rutgers.
Up 4 points.
Lifeless versus 0-5 Penn State.
COVID canceled.
Plus 28. That we should look back at that. We were plus 20. We'll be more than that, or that versus Ohio State this year. We should look at that spread.
Yeah,
plus
DC
28
change.
versus the Bug.
Solid signing day.
Wow. Manhandled in Madison. Oh my God. Yeah, this is a great chart. I love this guy.
This is good.
Buckeyes do it again. 64.
Shea is the Messiah. 20. Oh, that's funny. MSU pounded. Paul paraded. Wow.
Hammered in the game down to 80. Oh, man. All right. Yeah, that's that chart.
That's very good. I like that.
So